what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Press for Time. I am your host, Tyler Nethers, joined, as always, by Benny Rose, who is feeling a bit sick today, so you'll have to forgive him if he's a little quieter and not quite as vocal, getting over the Black Death. How you doing, man?
Yeah, feeling a little like Vin Diesel.
Family.
Family. No, I mean, I'm kind of losing my voice, as you could tell. For those that are watching, my face is swollen, sinuses are everywhere. It's good to be here. I apologize for how I sound, but I thought it was important to make sure we recorded. So uh good to be here, and obviously with our special guest.
We have
So
our very special guest today, my friend Braden, who is
Whoa.
joining us. He is I would say pretty successful Twitch streamer. I would say better than most of the folks out there. You know, you think about the masses that try to get into Twitch streaming. Braden's one that's made it pretty well.
I would
His
say
handle,
once every few months is a little bit less than successful, but
pretty successful though. Pretty successful.
I get some reaches out from some people that are like, "Hey, do stuff for some money for us." I'm like, "All right."
Braden is actually the one that got me hooked on Raid Shadow Legends. So, and this is not a paid advertisement for Raid Shadow Legends. This is just me saying, "Hey, I like that game." But no, so
I
you
see
can
you
check him
playing it
out
every
on
now and then.
Twitch. I know. Well, I play it all the time, just usually on my phone, and it doesn't notify on Discord at that point.
Yeah,
Check him out on Twitch. His handle is TSS_just pure. Yeah.
just the word pure. There's
Oh,
no
damn
just
it.
in there anymore.
I screwed it up. He just showed
I've
me.
cut that all out. I've cut that all out.
So it's
There's a screenshot of
TSS
it in the chat here.
underscore pure. We'll have a link to his Twitch channel in the episode description. But he is not only a Twitch streamer, he is like the de facto Zelda expert.
A little bit of a freak, you might say.
An absolute freak. He has a whole Britney Spears song. All right. So he's joined us
Get a
today.
little toxic with it, if you know what I mean.
we're gonna touch on a couple things first that we had planned for the episode we were going to record this weekend, but obviously we didn't end up getting it recorded because Benny has been dying. But we'll touch on those things real quick, and then we're going to do not deep but not shallow dive into the history of the Zelda franchise and what we want from Tears of the Kingdom. So, Benny, I'll let you touch on what we were going to cover this weekend and kind of lay out the updates, and we'll go from there.
yeah, so the main show that we had scheduled was going to have special guest Zach Oat from Diamond Select Toys. We are going to reschedule that, hopefully within the next week or two. We are really looking forward to having him on the show, so that'll be great. And yeah, I mean, really, I'd say for the next week or two, a big topic for us is going to be PSVR. PSVR 2, essentially. We both picked it up. We both love it.
Oh my God.
I've spent less time than I'd like for being sick, but I spent a little bit of time last night, and yeah, it's fun. It's awesome. I mean, it's different in the sense of like, yeah, you feel like you've done VR before, but the tech in there, the foveated rendering, stuff like that really makes a difference. The haptic feedback in the headset and the controllers is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get some co-op in there, but unfortunately, Sony didn't want to let that happen. So we'll have to figure that out. I heard you tried Resident Evil Village, the demo.
And then immediately purchased a copy of Resident Evil Village. It'll be here on Wednesday because that demo was amazing.
Sweet.
Yep.
So yeah, stay tuned for more content on what we're going to be playing and our reviews and coverage on Gaming Age for that also. So yeah, I think other than that, we can move into the nitty gritty of today's episode. So, many know that I'm a diehard Zelda fan too, but when it comes to the knowledge, I'll never want to say I'm there. You know what I mean? So I commend you for everything you're gonna share. I mean,
I know a thing or seven. I spent enough time with the franchise.
Awesome. So yeah,
got plenty of memorabilia around here that you can't see, but
So the one last thing before we jump in there, it actually coincidentally connects into this. we have been talking about a giveaway that we are having planned that has been existent since the first iteration of the show. And I found the product and I figured what better place to show it is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this right here, look at that.
Oh,
Oh, how ironic, right?
oh, ironic, yeah.
So this is a wooden holder for a created controller that's also made out of wood.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And on the other side, this is a one of a kind with our original logo,
That's pretty
laser
sick.
etched on it. And the lucky person, once we decide how we're going to do the giveaway, will get that stand along with this bad boy.
Nice.
NES controller, 3D laser etched with our logo.
That's pretty baller.
With our name, better yet. But yeah, the buttons are like it feels like a controller, and you could display it right on your desk like that. So keep listening, keep following, and we'll figure it out and get that out there soon. So I just wanted to share that. But let's get into it. All things Zelda. Talk to me.
Where do you want to start? There's
Let's start with a little bit of your history. Let's start with where you started. I know you've got stories about what Zelda has meant to you over the years. So just do a little personal.
I actually have a video script on it that I have not actually got the footage for, but that's something for a later time. I started growing up, I think, going to visit family. They had an NES, so I played a lot of Zelda 1, Zelda 2. Other family had an N64, so I got some Ocarina of Time through them. And then once I started playing Ocarina of Time when I was, I don't know, real little, I was like, you know what? I want to start playing this. So my dad bought me an N64 off of eBay for like $20, before retro collecting was a pain and when it was possible.
Right.
So I just played a lot of that, a lot of Ocarina of Time, and I guess that just ended up being like the game that was just like, I love this. I want to play more of this. And then when we got a GameCube and I was in like second or third grade, I got Wind Waker one, and that was like, all right, yeah, this is the path that I'm going down now, huh? Played all of them since. I think the only ones I don't own at this point are like the Game Boy Color games.
Yeah.
Played every. There's some that I haven't beaten.
What about the CDI games?
No, I've beaten those. I'm not proud of it, but I've beaten them.
Oh, they are not good.
No,
yeah,
no. There is. I'm gonna be a little jump around the wording here because I know how Nintendo gets, but let's just say there is a remastered way to play those games that runs a lot better.
Yes,
there might be some
way.
remastering that you can find and get your hands on to play those games, and they are a much better experience. Still the CDI games, so they're still pretty terrible, but you can play them a lot better.
It's like the
put hundreds
like
of hours in a Breath of the Wild,
God of War games that they re-released on the PS3.
Yeah, it was Ascension, I think.
No, Ascension was a PS3 game.
Was it?
Ghosts of Sparta and Chains of Olympus were the PSP ones, and they released a combo pack on PS3, and they weren't great.
As most ports generally tend to be when you don't put enough effort into
Trash Panda.
Yeah.
I've played a few of those ports on Nintendo Switch. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had to pick your favorite game, I know what the answer is, but if you would like to share with the rest of the class, which Zelda is your favorite?
Look, I can go grab the 4 copies of it out of the box right below me. I can go grab like the 5 guidebooks for that game and all the different versions that are sitting in my closet right now. It's Twilight Princess easy, dude. It's not even close. It's Ocarina of Time 2. It's bigger, it's better, it looks better, it's significantly darker. Yes. Loved everything about it. The items, the dungeons, the world, the music, fantastic. They've not topped. I love Breath of the Wild. I did like, but I had my issues with that. That's another script that I had written out that I haven't done anything with. Yeah. But it's just even like because my issue with Breath of the Wild is I love it, but I'm a Zelda fan, and I liked a lot of. I don't. It's less Zelda than I want and that I'm happy with, and we can go over them if you want. But I've dug through the art book leaks. I've looked at all 200 pages of that art book. That leaked. There's a download of it. There's a Google Drive or like a Google Docs that you can scroll through that has all of them in it. But it's looking like there's going to be significantly more Zelda in this game. Thank God. It looks like there's dungeons and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
Twilight
were
Princess
talking
is the
about
way
the
to
other
go for
day
me.
after the direct. Benny and I were discussing like, hey, it looks like
Yeah, you guys had mentioned that during the direct conversation in that episode.
yeah, it looks like they're getting back to real dungeons and like some diversity as opposed to
Yeah, there's a
Breath
lot
of
of
the Wild.
speculation of where it falls in the story, and some people are saying it's post Breath of the Wild. Some people are saying it's before Skyward Sword, which is the original, like beginning of the
Supposed to be
timeline.
the
It's a whole
first
mess.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because the whole point with that is Skyward Sword starts off like they're mentioning how the reason that everything's in the sky is because the land below got all messed up, and that's why there's nobody on the ground level anymore. But people are confused because now in Tears of the
It seems
Kingdom,
like
we're
this
now
is the big
seeing the world
calamity.
explode and like it's raising to the sky because now we have all the skylands and everything, and something to do with like I think I've played Skyward Sword like twice. It's not a very good game. I don't like it very much at all. Motion controls and Nintendo and their gimmicks need to stop. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I tried getting it
I
on Switch and
I got
giving
halfway
it a fair
through. I
shot.
couldn't.
I
I
got
got
about the
halfway
same.
through. I was getting the flames to the Master Sword and went, I can't do this. I can't put
Yeah.
myself through this again.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And then
No.
the fact that they tried to instead of just scrapping the motion controls and saying,
Well,
"Hey,
you
we're going
can
to give
use
you
the
standard
joystick now.
controls,"
Come on. You could use
they're
the
like,
joystick now. It
I know,
doesn't
and
make
it's
it better.
bad.
It
It doesn't
doesn't.
make it better at all. It's just I don't want to have to flick my joystick a bunch of different directions and
Yeah,
try to sword fight like that. No. Mm-mm.
no.
Nope.
But there's
Reminds me
talk
of No
about
More Heroes,
Yeah.
where it had
the Switch port
potential,
of
but
that though. You don't the Switch ports of those games. You don't have to use motion controls. I have No More
No.
Heroes 1 and 2 on Switch. You don't have to use motion for that. That just has like button inputs now.
thank God.
That's what he's saying. Like they
That's what
took
they
what
should have done
was
that.
motion control and said, "Hey,
Yeah,
we're gonna get rid of that crap." But with
yeah.
Skyward Sword, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna find a way to force you to still do this crap."
Yeah, you're gonna use them regardless. I'm like, I don't. They're not fun. I don't like using them. They don't work properly. I don't. I mean, I played it because it was Zelda and I wanted to give it a chance. I'm like, well, maybe it. No, its game's still not
Exactly.
fun. The backtracking is ridiculous. The areas are not that interesting. I don't want to go
Yeah.
there 6 times. The reuse boss fights got on my nerves by like the second or third time. You had to fight. I think I don't remember the name of the boss. The big like worm thing imprisoned like 3 times, another 3 if you want the
Yeah.
Hylian shield. Girahim you fight like 3 or 4 times, another 3 or 4 times to get the shield. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. It's
Yeah.
just a miserable experience.
It is probably my least favorite of the mainstream Zelda
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, but as I was about to jumping all over the place because everything all links together somewhere or another.
Links
But with the
together.
whole Skyward Sword thing, yeah.
I
He said
had
the
to.
thing.
Sorry.
I said this truly was the Legend of Zelda. Oh, that's crazy.
Ooh.
Oh,
Today's word is link.
yeah.
Mhm.
Word of the day, or just word of the episode, or whatever, in every
Right.
the descriptions. There's something to do with like all the malice being like what demise spawns from in Skyward Sword. I don't know. It's there's a whole bunch of this is either post Breath of the Wild or before. Don't know. It doesn't make sense to be after, but it might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it might be after, and I think we might be kind of getting
Yeah,
somewhat of a full circle
I think
of
so.
the Skyward Cities coming back.
Yeah, because
not
there's
them not being the originals.
in that most recent trailer, there's very clearly 2 different generations of Link in there. There's one where he's like very tribal. He's got that weird like green mech arm thing with like the weird magic juice. And then there's like him like merging with the actual Link from Breath of the Wild. I don't know. You're probably getting both the beginning and the end of the timeline for all I know. I don't we'll see.
That'd be cool.
It'll be Legend of Zelda Endgame. We can go do time
Right.
travel.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. There's lots of stuff in the art book that got me excited though.
You know what they say, whatever it takes.
Exactly.
As long as there's more Zelda, that's fine with me. I just
want them to remaster
world.
Twilight Princess. I just want Twilight Princess on the Switch.
They did. They did remaster it. It's just on a system nobody bought.
Well, exactly. I want it on the Switch.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry. That's why I still own a Wii U is for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD.
Oh
and to an
man,
extent,
I would
some of the Virtual
love.
Console.
I would absolutely love a combo pack with a Wind Waker and Twilight Princess together on Switch.
What confuses me is they've been doing all these Wii U remasters and ports, like Mario Kart 8's a port of a Wii U game. We got Pikmin 3 on the Switch.
And it's still like the number one
the
game
Mario 3D World
selling every month.
Yeah, Mario Kart still. It's like I think
how
it's
much money Mario Kart makes.
think it's this. I think the only thing that's beaten it in sales on the Switch is Animal Crossing, and that just happened to hit the perfect time when that came out
Yeah.
due to the disease that shall not be named.
Right.
Yeah, they haven't. I'm surprised. Those are the two Wii U games they haven't ported that I'm upset about. There's a Xenoblade game on there too, but people don't. That didn't get received very well. So much so they don't even acknowledge that anymore.
Nope.
But yeah, just give it the Zelda games. I'll buy them again. I don't care.
Yeah.
You
No,
can
I
take
absolutely would. I'd pay $100. I'd pay $120 for a remaster.
Yeah, they could full price them, and I would do it.
Yeah, I would pay full price
that,
for a
and I would still
remastered
do
Wind
it.
Waker and full price for a remastered Twilight Princess.
I would. There's a
you
guy
know
that
what
I've
I will-
seen on Patreon that it's like $1 a month. I'll give him. He makes 4K texture packs for games. He's done it for Twilight Princess, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a can't really. Nintendo won't like how you have to play it, but you know.
Right. Hey,
it looks really nice, and it has like it's got like post processing and like better shaders and stuff. It looks really phenomenal, and I want something like that for the Switch port that I'm sure we'll never get.
Yeah.
But a boy can dream.
I mean, listen, I've been dreaming for the day that we get a game based off the tech demo from many years ago. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one that then was followed up by Wind Waker, and people lost their collective minds. They're like, "This is not. What is this? What is this garbage? You showed us realistic and gave us this cartoon, this Saturday morning comic book cartoon."
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Nintendo put out a game like that? Keep it
They
simple.
did. It was Twilight Princess.
True.
Which, ironically enough, Wind Waker almost killed the entire franchise. I don't know how much you guys have like dug into any of like the history of that game and just like that era of Nintendo. The GameCube, I guess, didn't sell very well to begin with, which I don't care. That's my favorite. That's probably my favorite console.
Yeah. I love the GameCube.
But Wind Waker sold so terribly in the US and just the West in general that it almost killed the entire franchise. And Nintendo of America was like, "Hey, they want a grittier, darker, realistic Zelda game, or the series is going to die. Like it's not making money." And so Twilight Princess came out, and Until Breath of the Wild remained the best-selling Zelda game they've ever made. And good, it should. It's Ocarina of Time 2, and it's so much better.
Yeah. I still hold it as my favorite Zelda game.
They haven't released anything yet that's come close.
I
think Breath of the Wild is probably top. I mean, again, I like it, but it's not top 3. I don't know if it's top 5.
No.
Minish Cap is actually pretty good if you guys have
Minish Cap is good. I would say Twilight Princess, Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker.
You know what? Hold on.
Breath of the Wild in 5. I don't know.
I don't know if the image might be on my phone. I'll see if I can send it to you on Discord here real quick. I had tweeted out a tier list once at like 3 a.m. because I was bored and in bed. And I didn't put Majora's Mask as high as I think most people would have.
Yeah, Majora's Mask is great, man.
It's not.
I like it, but
no, really,
not even top 10.
Interesting.
I do like it.
Fucking hate that game.
Sorry. You hate Majora's Mask? I don't think I know this.
Yeah.
Here you go, Taylor.
Why do you hate Majora's Mask?
Let me download that real quick.
I hated the time cycle thing. Stupid.
Okay, I gotcha.
Stupid ass shit.
Yeah, there's
that's when I want to play Zelda. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah, I like that Skyward Sword has its own fucking thing.
Skyward Sword's sad face. Yeah.
I forgot about Phantom Hourglass.
The DS games, I don't care. People say those were fun. I don't care. I'll die on this hill. The DS games were fun.
I guess I'm probably the only one that'll have Link to the Past in their top 3.
I like Link to the Past. I like Link Between Worlds more because it improved on it.
Fair enough.
I went ahead and threw that file in there for you to see, Ben. You can see
I like your
opinions are on the.
I like your rankings. That's good.
Well, did not like that I put Majora's Mask at the bottom of Beats. It's like, hey, that doesn't mean I dislike it. That just means it's not up there with my favorites. I still like it, but it's not up there.
Yeah. I accidentally paused the recording. Sorry.
There'll
be a little
bit of a splice. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know a thing or two about video editing. I've done it for fun in my free time.
Yeah.
If we need to
resume. Okay, so Braden, what do you think? What does Nintendo need to do to really push Zelda forward? Because obviously Tears of the Kingdom looks like it's going to be Breath of the Wild 2. And they've been very honest about that. What do you think they need to do to bring Zelda forward after this?
they've got the formula down so well at this point with even just like just games that have come before this, not necessarily Breath of the Wild because that's their first dip into like real open world. But I don't even really know. I guess like I do appreciate the stylized graphics, but I would like to see something like Twilight Princess with modern graphic capabilities, where
Yeah.
it is a much grittier, much more realistic style.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. I want it to run better than 30. I would like that. I would like to see it run it better than 720p. They need to. I think a lot of the reason. I think a lot of things that Nintendo needs to do for Zelda is just hardware. Just
Yeah.
hardware.
They're more
It's
experience focused. They always have been.
yeah, and I can appreciate that because generally speaking, granted I did grow up Nintendo until I was like my stepdad brought a PlayStation 3 into the house, and that's really where I started branching out and going back and experiencing a lot of other stuff. But they don't focus as much as hardware, but their software is just so quality compared to a lot of other companies. It'll like when it comes out, I will fire it up. I'm not gonna have a glitchy mess.
Yeah.
It's gonna be relatively well put together. If they're gonna do DLC, it's not gonna be like here's 30 different day one DLCs that are gonna act like may or may not actually hamper your experience if you don't have them. I don't know. I guess just a lot of just hardware stuff. And honestly, a mainline game with multiplayer, I think, would be really fun. I don't know how they would do it. They've done it before with the Four Swords games, but I would like to see them bring multiplayer back into the mainline,
What would you think
just
about
to some
like a
extent.
Dark Souls style summon? Like you go to the start of a dungeon and you could summon somebody
Yeah,
to help you with the dungeon.
I think even just like the Dark Souls co-op in general, where you just like you summon somebody, you just run around the world and you can do things together. Or even like look what Pokemon did. Scarlet and Violet is much of a technical dumpster fire as they are. The co-op experience in that is actually really cool. I don't know how
Yeah.
much experience you guys have with that, or if any at all.
No.
But I would like to see them implement that system where you join each other and your progress isn't necessarily synced, but you can do things together. You just go off and do whatever while people are in your world just hanging out and doing stuff together. I think that'd be pretty cool to see in the game.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing one dungeon, nobody can go do another dungeon. It doesn't affect my progress at all. Or
What I would want to
I,
see is a return to a more linear style.
yeah, for sure. I'm
I'm
so tired of
so
open world
fucking
games at this
tired of
time.
this
We've
open
been
world.
blown out for
Yeah. It's too much. Everything doesn't need
ever
to be
since
open world.
2016,
Everything doesn't need to be 100
everyone
hours.
wants to make this big fan. I'm like, I want to sit down, I want to play through a game, and I want to enjoy the experience. Like you mentioned before that you on that who should not be named. It's me, by the way. I'm the Persona guy.
Yes.
In case people weren't aware of that from last week. Um, like to sit down, that's you just sit down and play through it, or most games for that matter. I'm so tired of having to wander around and find everything. And I mean, don't Elden Ring is my you know what? Do whatever you want from Soft. You nail it every
Yeah.
time. Elden Ring was absolutely the biggest game of last year. It deserved it. Nintendo, I like Breath of the Wild. It was a cool step in a different direction. Please make Zelda linear again.
Yeah. Because so
Go
much
back
of
to the
Breath of the
pseudo
Wild
open.
is emptiness. Like Elden Ring
Yeah,
did open world so good because yeah, it was open,
there
but
was stuff
you were
everywhere.
constantly doing something, even when
Yeah,
you were traveling. But Breath of the Wild, so much of that game
and
is just mindless
that falls back
running.
on my point about the technical aspect of Nintendo's hardware, and I
Yeah, because they could
people are
have
gonna
really
hate this
populated
because
that world.
I know how gotcha is in modern to people don't like gotcha, but I played Genshin Impact for the last 2.5 years. That's a phone game. Compare that game's visuals to Breath of the Wild, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It makes Breath of the Wild look like an indie game visually. I'm like, not like in a not to insult indie games because they're phenomenal indie games. I played a lot of them, love them,
Oh yeah.
but
No, but
like
there's a
a
definite
I'm just
visual that you
learning how to
associate.
make like an open world kind of deal. Like it's insane. Like the
Yeah.
difference in just like population of the world and like the detail in the trees and everything, and just like the density of things in some games that have come out since then, even on the same hardware. Like you mentioned last week again, Xenoblade, ridiculously gorgeous, runs phenomenally,
Yeah.
plays very well. The world's got plenty of detail in it. I don't know if it's just because that's their first time doing that with that team. I don't know, but I want to see them just do more with the world. It was kind
Yeah.
of, and the DLC was pretty kind of lackluster too. I'm gonna be honest. It was the first one was like outfits from other games, which I mean that's cool, whatever. I'm all for the crossovers. And then like the stupid like 150 floor like challenge gauntlet you had to do. And then the second one was all right. It was kind of more of like story about the 4 champions, but it was just more shrines basically. And at the end of it, there was a neat boss fight, and you got a motorcycle out of it that was slower than the horses you could get. I'm like,
Right. You got to cross over
I want to
with
see
Mario
them do
Kart.
more with it, which I guess also leads into Tears of the Kingdom because they had so many DLC ideas. They were like, let's just make another game.
Yeah.
So that's why Tears of the Kingdom is coming up because they had so many ideas. They're like, it's not worth making you buy all this DLC. We'll just make another game, sell it for $70 goddamn dollars
We
on
talked about
Nintendo
that too.
Switch hardware. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're gonna release the Switch, and they're gonna charge $70 again.
Oh, funny you mentioned that. I mentioned this to you earlier. I couldn't find a link for it because Nathan sent it to me, but I don't know if you told Benny about this. They are supposedly an insider has said there's another Switch coming out this holiday or this winter. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that'll consist
Be
of.
surprised.
I don't know. It's the Switch 2,
Switch.
Switch Pro. Yeah, exactly. The Switch. Yeah. It's just Wii in it.
The Switch.
Listen, at the end of the day, you know what I want? I want a remake from the ground up.
Oh, Twilight Princess? Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's kind of what Breath of the Wild was. I mean, it was based on the original.
Yeah.
They used the original and built a physics engine in it, but it's not Zelda 1.
No. I want a game where Link looks like he does in the instruction manual. That's what I want. Yeah. You never gave it to me, Nintendo.
Nope.
You didn't have enough pixels at the time. You gotta attest to that. Come on. What's the deal with that?
Or you get Illumination to make a Zelda movie and make it look like that.
There was an anime they were working on with
Chris
Netflix
Pratt's gonna be brought
ago.
on to voice him. So,
well, excuse me, princess.
She's in another castle. She can't hear you right now.
Mama Mia. Hey, I'm Mario.
That's not what I'm gonna sound like. Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Like, okay.
He sounds like Bob Belcher's wife. Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
The other casting, I gotta say, pretty good. I'm all for Charlie Day as Luigi. Seth Rogen as DK will be pretty good. Michael Keaton nails Toad.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody took their role serious except for Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt watched a fucking Chef Boyardee commercial and said, "All right, I've got this." He flew to New York, went to Sbarro, and said, yes, I've now experienced the culture. I can go back home.
Listen, not for nothing. I know we're segueing, but that last trailer that has the original 90s song on it.
Yes, the plumbing advertisement.
The best. Yeah. The best.
No, that's I think the movie's going to be good. I mean, Illumination really doesn't make bad movies. Like Braden said, everybody else seems like they've nailed it.
I mean, the worst part is like every trailer has him saying one line, and it sounds like they're freaking holding him up at gunpoint.
Yes.
It's like
he recorded it at home. Like he's just in a closet in his house. He's wearing his Star-Lord vest, and he's like, "Which movie is this I'm doing again? Oh, yes, that's Mario. Let's go."
Do the Inception.
For some reason, when we see Guardians 3, he's gonna sound like Mario in the movie.
Yes. Yeah. He'll have a better accent than Guardians.
Yes. He's gonna get like some red plumber's cap from like the original movie with Lou, what's his name? And he's gonna be like, "Oh, not this garbage," and just throw it off like in that DMC reboot.
Jesus.
Hey, paisanos. See, as soon as I try to raise my frequency, cracking.
Yep.
Just dying. If they do a Zelda movie, Link cannot speak. He cannot talk. He has to stay silent.
They wouldn't do that though. They won't do that. If they do a movie, which if the Mario movie does well, I'm telling you, they're going to do a Zelda movie.
Look, I will accept Link.
They will.
There was only one way I will accept Link having a voice actor. Bring back that guy from the one season they had in the cartoon from like the late 90s.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Bring back that one guy. He has to do the voice. It has to sound exactly the same. He just has to sound like some.
No, you get the
dumb,
guy that
like,
does
freshman.
Mario's voice in the games to do Link.
Yeah.
There
Charles
you go.
Martinet,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a me, Link.
Yeah.
Oh, try Force of Power.
Try for some power.
Make him Ganon, so Ganon's just this big mob boss Italian guy who speaks with his hands.
If anybody knows the show Paradise PD
Yes.
or Brickleberry,
Yes.
okay, the boss chief,
Yeah.
I can see that voice. Picture that. Close your eyes. Ganon, that voice.
Yeah. I think we haven't
Ah,
gotten a definitive
fucking
answer.
Fucking.
I don't know if there's been any confirmation, but I think Ganon's voice actor in Tears of the Kingdom is Matt Mercer. I'm not sure, but it sounds like Matt Mercer.
Everything sounds like Matt Mercer.
You know, he's in everything. He does everything.
And he has such range. I mean,
yeah.
Seriously, Benny could take his mask off. Woo-hoo-hoo, it's been Matt Mercer all along. And I'd be like, oh yeah. You know what?
Don't worry, you'll get to hear him as your party member in Persona 5.
I'm not really puffy faced.
Exactly.
Just all makeup and CG. That Zoom
Let's see
CG
who's under this mask.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you voice acting unions.
Yes. Yes. All right. Back on track.
For this Ganondorf is the Twilight Princess Ganondorf, because he doesn't die. And he does say the history will be written in blood. I'm not done with you at the end of that game. He is back. He's got the stab wound in the chest. He's got the gem in the forehead that he has in Twilight Princess.
Yeah. That was another one of the big complaints with Breath of the Wild. I did not like
that we dealt with Calamity Ganon.
The malice.
Yeah.
I'm fine that they did do the Pig Ganon, but that wasn't like Pig Ganon is like a big monster. That was just a big boar. That wasn't Ganon.
That wasn't a villain.
No, it was.
That's what I felt was missing.
Just a boss fight. It was
the Smucker's strawberry jam got a little pissed off. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, seriously, there was no like central villain. It was just, I mean, the name's appropriate. It's Calamity Ganon. He is a calamity. He's not a character.
I honestly think that Breath of the Wild, it was just all set up for this sequel. I really do. Because it's Zelda just gets her power by the end of the game when she's sitting there holding him off while you're off fucking around collecting pieces of like wooden creature poop and talking to like malnourished old people in shrines
and just randomly cooking shit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just throwing stuff in a pot for 5 seconds. Good to go.
Got breaking all the fucking swords in the kingdom.
Oh God!
Break it all. Break it all.
I don't mind weapon degradation, and like I didn't care. After a point, I was like, whatever. It's just gonna be part of the game. Didn't see anything break in the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom for any of them.
Didn't see anything break in the trailer for Breath of the Wild either, though.
Well, I think they did do a showcase where they talked about.
They did a showcase where they talked about the mechanics, but they haven't done that for Tears of the Kingdom. That's what I'm saying.
They will. Don't get your hopes up.
My hopes are up. Because I think enough people complained about that stupid ass mechanic that they may have taken it out.
We'll see. I mean,
we'll get a remastered Super Castlevania 4 before you get Breath of the Wild without the weapons degrading. Yeah. Sorry.
If I go to Game Banana or Nexus Mods right now, I will shove that right back in your face and go, where's your Super Castlevania 4 remake?
I'm gonna call Konami. I'm gonna be like, yo, you guys didn't get your shit together.
Yeah, you can help me out.
I'm in a bind right now.
I
made a commitment.
Our 335 subscribers are gonna hold me to this.
Our 335 guns to my head right now, Konami. I'm gonna need you to help me out on this.
Listen, they're so close, I can't swallow. It's dangerous right now.
It's real bad. It's a hair trigger. It's right there.
So real quick. Sorry.
No.
You mentioned it. We didn't say it before. How many subscribers?
335.
335, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube. Okay.
That's a real quick time too. That's a big number. That's especially in such a short period of time. That's a big number. That's a lot.
Got a couple thousand hits on the audio podcast as well. So you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. And I say that because I think the last time we recorded, we were under 100.
Yeah.
Like WTF.
Wow. So
Yeah, our episode
It
3,
seems like
we hit a
people
couple
like-
thousand views
yeah.
or over 1,000 views on the YouTube video for episode 3 alone. So that really drove subscriptions up. So yeah, thank you guys.
Very, very good growth. Congratulations to you guys, and you're
Thank
almost
you.
tripling of your
Thank you.
subscriber numbers in what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Insane.
this is we're coming up on a month of doing the show. But
Yeah.
speaking of subscribers, that leads us into my final question. But I have it written on the monitor that's behind my giant puffy thing, and I forget that I can't see. Do you
Giant
think,
whiskey
and
glass.
this question's for both of you guys, do you think we'll ever see Zelda cross console lines? Do you think they will allow other consoles to get Zelda? Because, as we just saw, Microsoft signed a deal agreeing to bring Call of Duty to the Switch for the next 10 years, which is huge. I mean, I'm not going to play.
To
Call of
me,
Duty
it's
on
not
the
that big of a
Switch.
deal because they did it before, and it was dog water every time.
I know. Well,
And they
but
said,
never
"Oh,
had
well."
this-
They said expect it to look like it would on a Nintendo product.
Well, no.
So-
So now it's going to be that cloud-based thing, though, which
Yeah,
we've seen
which
is it's a weird
not
thing,
good. It's
but-
not good.
but it may look okay. I'm saying from Nintendo's point of view, they don't care if it runs like shit if people are going to buy
No.
it.
Well, here's
what I mean?
my confusion about the Resident Evil ports run like garbage because Nintendo's Online is notoriously not good.
Yeah, it's
In
Nintendo's
fact,
offline.
Splatoon 2 checks for Windows 98. I don't know if that ever got fixed, but whatever servers they're still running are like 30 years outdated.
Amazing.
At the 25 years outdated at this point.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess.
I know it's broke. They just
I was
don't
like,
care.
Windows 98 was broke in 98.
But because this is Microsoft backed, I don't know. I'm keeping fingers crossed for the 6 people that'll buy it because their mom won't buy them a PlayStation or an Xbox, that it's somehow running on the Game Pass streaming services. I know they talked about wanting to bring Game Pass to Switch. As far as Zelda being on other platforms, kinda is, kinda isn't. They've done some Monster Hunter stuff or collaborations. We're on other platforms.
They're getting
It's
more
still
and more
in the
open
game
to that
files.
kind of stuff, it seems like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
think-
think they would ever let Mario go. I don't think they would ever let
No.
Mario play
No.
somewhere else because that game is so well suited to the Switch or to
Well, they
Nintendo's
did,
consoles.
Octopath is now multi-platform,
I know.
and that was Nintendo exclusive
well,
for the first one.
okay, but that wasn't a Nintendo first party though. That was a Square Enix.
Yeah, but still,
They
this
brought
is
it to
something that they
Nintendo first,
previously is
but-
now on everything.
Yeah.
I think the issue in the way of the multi-platform stuff, just for like even just guest appearances, I think is probably Nintendo Japan, because they're real dinosaurs about their way
I
of
know.
like just policies for everything. I think Nintendo of America is all about like probably wanting to do it. I mean, they just won't. They just can't, because Japan at the end of the day has to make all the decisions. So we're not getting these crossovers. Like people would love. I have lots of games like Zelda and Elden Ring. Like they're both medieval fantasy games. Like why wouldn't I want?
Are there any Nintendo characters in Fortnite, Benny?
No.
Okay.
No. Funny you mentioned that. I've actually started playing the last couple weeks
Shut
just
up.
for fun.
Oh, Tyler, you're in trouble.
No, Braden's in a whole different generation. He's a whole generation below me, Benny.
And I'm a whole generation above you.
Yeah.
I'm like just at the beginning of the Zoomer generation.
I was saying,
99.
are we all like within the 3 different decades then?
Probably. You were in the 80s, yeah?
Yeah, and my voice is showing my age right now.
Right.
Squeaking
Yeah,
like an old
99.
man.
I'm 90s. Braden's 90s too, but he's late 90s.
Yeah, 90s kid for 6 months. I remember
Yeah,
9/11.
exactly. He was a baby when Y2K happened. But
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
no,
the
not that I can
breadth
think of.
knowledge and experience.
Yeah, I don't think.
Someone's gonna meme this. Someone's gonna take this,
Yeah.
take a screenshot of me doing this, and they're gonna meme it.
As long as you don't do the soy face,
Yeah, no kidding.
because apparently
There it is.
Stan
Yo,
loves
Zelda
to make
leaks.
sure.
Oh.
He's like, "Oh, we're gonna have another soy face on the cover."
I hope not.
Mm-mm.
Please don't. I already look like an
Mm-mm.
asshole. Just looking at me, I just look like an asshole.
All right, so Benny, do you think we will ever get Zelda outside of Nintendo, or do you think it's going to stay exclusive?
I think if we do, it's going to be a third-party based game. I think the first sign to that can be something like Hyrule Warriors going multi-platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd be all for it.
All right, Braden.
Because
they're
the game
fun.
worked.
If they get another developer to make the game, maybe like Capcom made the Oracle games, they made Minish Cap. Obviously, with Benny just said Koei Tecmo. I think it's Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
Made the Warriors games, both Age of Calamity and the actual Warriors game. So I mean, maybe I would like to see it. I don't see why more people shouldn't be able to experience, this series on other platforms. I mean, I think it's dumb that exclusive. Like, I get exclusivity. I guess you need a reason for people to come to your system. But at the end of the day, you're Nintendo. People are going to come to your system because you're Nintendo, not because of your exclusives. It's they know what you produce. You can afford to let loose and put some of your stuff out on other platforms.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they will as much as I want them to.
I don't think it will, but I
because like
I don't
so
see
what
why
I
they
bought,
shouldn't.
I wasn't going to buy a Switch until there was Breath of the Wild. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know how I feel about it now. I'm not going to rehash it, but at the time, I was like, "This is the Zelda game I have wanted since Twilight Princess." So I bought my first Switch to get Breath of the Wild. I bought a Switch for that game alone because I knew there was no other way I was going to be able to play it. And then when I played it and realized that it wasn't for me, I sold the game and sold the Switch. I've since repurchased and finished the game, obviously, but at the time, that was the only reason I bought a Nintendo Switch. And I am not alone in that. I know there are a lot of people that will buy a Nintendo console just to play Zelda.
It's me.
And yes, once you purchase the console, you'll buy other games and you'll play them. But I wouldn't have bought a Switch to play Mario Odyssey. I wouldn't have bought a Switch to play Octopath when it was exclusive. I wouldn't have bought a Switch to play Mario Kart.
I didn't even like Octopath. I bounced off of that hard.
I like Octopath, but that's neither here nor there. Zelda is a console selling game, and I don't think Nintendo will let that go. I would love to. I would love to see them do it. And I would love to be able to play a Zelda with actual hardware behind it.
Like 13 million units at like launch.
Yeah.
Or something like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It did some like multiple millions just on launch day because Breath of the Wild was like that was the biggest game that year, and it still is one of the biggest games that have come out in like the last 5-10 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep. So I don't think they'll ever let it go as much as I would like to.
They might. I mean, crossovers at least. Just put even if it's just like a crossover, just put the property on anything. I don't care if it's just a crossover. Like, I just do something. I don't want it to be. I want more people to have an experience with the series or just any of their series, honestly. But definitely Zelda. I think Mario is like their mascot, but I think Zelda is. I was gonna say their biggest franchise, but Pokemon obviously is gonna sell more and more every single time it comes out. But Zelda to me is still their biggest, most like reputable franchise.
It's their best, in my opinion.
It's had definitely way more ups than lows compared to all of their other franchises.
Yeah, even the lows are still pretty good.
Yeah,
honestly, I feel like
they're except for crossbow training.
Wow, that was supposed to be a Twilight Princess sequel. Funny enough, that's a whole nother ordeal. They wanted to do it. Miyamoto was like, they were like halfway through it and went, "What about this new Wii Zapper though? Why don't you scrap that and work on this?" And then crossbow training came out. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I will say even their lower games have redeeming qualities. There is something good in every single Zelda game.
Yeah. Skyward Sword, I hate it as a game, but the story in that game is some of the best story in the entire franchise.
And I actually like the art style.
The art style was good. They based it on some, I forget who it was. It was some like very well-known, very professional painter. And they based the art style on that. It's very brush strokey, and you can kind of see it in like the environment.
I like the birds.
Yeah, Loftlings.
I thought the birds were cool as shit. And some of the flying mechanics and stuff were neat. There were some really good things in Skyward Sword, but the combat is just so bad that it taints the whole experience, because that's 90% of what you do is engaging in the combat, and when it's so frustrating and so fucking boring.
If it works.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
but
luckily we're getting another more. It's still going to be Breath of the Wild, but it's definitely going to be more traditional, so we can keep our Got to keep my hopes tempered.
I like I
I
said,
don't want to expect
I
a
have
regular
high
Zelda.
hopes for Tears of the Kingdom. I really do. If they could get rid of weapon degradation and reintroduce actual dungeons, like real fucking dungeons that take a couple hours to get through. Like, you remember trying to
Yeah.
do Water Temple back in the day? Like, god
Oh,
damn, man.
We don't talk about Water Temple. Stop
Water
it.
Temple's great.
Stop
at
it.
this point, I've run through that game so many times just with like randomizers and stuff. I can run through the Water Temple in half an
I
hour.
remember playing Wind Waker and going on game FAQs and pulling
Yeah.
up the hand typed guides for how to
Yep.
get through the dungeons and having my mom go to the library and print out the sheets because I couldn't be fucking around on the computer and my GameCube at the same time. I'd have her print out pages and pages and pages from game FAQs, and I'd sit and follow the guides to get through some of the dungeons.
God, that Triforce hunt and those like Earth and Wind temples are God. Oh,
but like you don't have anything. There's nothing like that in Breath of the Wild. You can go hunt 1,000 Korok seeds.
It's only 900 and something. Thank you.
All right, exactly.
Instead of 1,000.
There's
no for this game.
There's no dungeoning like that, and that was what I was missing.
I am curious what they're going to do as far as dungeons and content, because they've stated that they're trying to double Breath of the Wild's size and content in this sequel.
Yeah, they could easily do that.
That's what I'm saying. I do not know what that means.
Anything. Just have dungeons in the world that you can find and do that aren't just stupid little, I'm going to use a magnet and lift this block to stand in this exact same blue and fucking gray scaled room to go through this gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those weren't dungeons. Those were tiny little one-off puzzles, and you do
the divine beasts were like pseudo dungeons, but they weren't
almost
dungeons.
But they took 15 minutes to get through a divine beast. I mean, seriously,
they were just they're like a mix of weirdly linear but like also do it however. I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot of direction.
Again, they were just large scale puzzles. They weren't even dungeons.
I think the biggest reason that we didn't get anything like dungeons, we didn't have proper items. We just had the 4 abilities. Nope. You could use stasis, you had the magnet, which is whatever, that's just, you had bombs, I guess, which was the closest thing we had to a regular item, and a bow.
Kind of.
But like the bow at this point was more of a combat thing than like anything for like a puzzle or anything. Which, I mean, that's cool to see the bow get more combat use, but like I want more items. I want that stupid Beyblade back from Twilight Princess that got used once and never again. That was stupid and it was funny and I loved it. It's my favorite item in that game. Bring back like the ball and chain, the multiple different, I was gonna say multiple arrow types, but we did get multiple. Like, make the ice arrows, like let me like make a bridge with ice arrows so I can cross something. I mean, we had like the block thing that you could make with Cryonis, but like let me use ice arrows so I could like be more precise with it. I don't know.
They definitely took a lot of the
options away. Bring back more traditional items and bring back dungeons and like actual puzzles, and not just here mess with this new gyro function and play with gravity for 15 minutes. Like I don't
exactly.
I want to have to be like, how do I get through this? Like, do I gotta go to this room and do this? Like the water temp, changing water levels, or like having me like hunt things. Something they've never done again that I can think of. Again, in Twilight Princess is the Arbiter's Grounds. You have to go hunt down the postals to get through to the actual rest of the dungeon.
Yeah.
So you have to go hunt down these enemies and then you can progress. Like do things like that, or bring back like terrifying enemy designs, like again, Twilight Princess, or even Majora's Mask to an extent. That game is really uneasy, like the whole way through. It's super unnerving.
Yeah.
But like you had the giant dragon skeleton in Twilight Princess, this weird like executioner goat demon thing. Like bring back more cool, really messed up looking bosses. Or just enemies in general. We had like 6 of them in Breath of the Wild.
I mean, they all look the same.
I would say.
So here we are. This is we'll go ahead and call it here because we're gonna become too long for people to actually watch us at this point. But we'll call it. Braden, thank you for coming on. No, this is perfect. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing all the knowledge with us, man.
JRPG episode, right?
Dump
everything about Xenoblade and everything.
We'll do a Xenoblade. We'll have you back on again. We'll do a Xenoblade episode, a Persona episode. We've got shit. I've got shit planned. Benny's got shit planned. All right. So thank you very much for being here, man.
No problem. Glad to be here.
And thanks for all the support as always.
Oh, you know it. Gotta support the boys. You know how it is.
That's right.
Put out quality content. You gotta support it. Like, come on.
Exactly. All right, obviously. Benny. I'll catch you later, brother.
All right, everybody. Take care and have fun. Talk to you
See you
soon.
guys.